when I was in college studying drums, whenever I came across a complicated groove that I had trouble playing, my teacher always used to tell me, well, piece it together. And then we would get into it and start doing that. So today I'm going to cover the Songo pattern. I'm going to do the traditional pattern today, just for breakdown purposes. But the way I teach my students how to play the Songo pattern is, you know, it's technical, play it at regular speed, and then it just kind of, you know, goes over a lot of my students' heads when you play it, you know. You know, and just naturally that just sounds like, well, where do you start? So here's what I do, just like how my teachers did with me, and it works fantastically. So I'm going to break down the Songo pattern. Okay, so the most consistent thing is the ride cymbal, okay? And the Songo pattern is a 2-bar phrase, okay? So it's that long. So the ride cymbal is on beats 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to slow this down as we piece it together. So the first note, and I have my little computer here just so I can see it, so I'm not messing it up as I go. So the first note that we would start with is the bass drum, because that's beat 1. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So you would play that for a while. And then, by the way, the traditional Songo pattern has a rim click, okay, on your snare. Right? You hear that in a lot of ballads. Right? So the traditional Songo has the rim click. Okay. I'm twirling my sticks because I'm trying to think of the next thing to say. So teaching to a camera is a lot different than teaching to a student. So now, after that, right, after you have the bass drum, right, and the ride cymbal together, right, we have a rim click on beat 2. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that better. In the first bar, you have a rim click on beat 2, okay? So we're piecing these together in a 2-bar phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Then we have a bass drum right after the rim click on the end of 2. So it would be 1, 2, and. Okay? I'm going to slow this down. Okay? 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Then after you're done with that, then you have another rim click on the end of 3. So this is what it would sound like. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Then you have another rim click on the end of 4. Okay? So this is what it would sound like. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, by the way, I should mention that you can have your hi-hat on beats 2 and 4 against the ride cymbal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could put your hi-hat on the ride cymbal as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be on beats 1 and 3. So you have some variations you can play with, right? So you could have 1, right? If this helps you, right, with the quarter notes and eighth notes, etc. Because without the hi-hat, there's a lot of space, or it feels like there's a lot of space. So, after that, now that's the first bar. We've gotten done with the first bar. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and, okay? We've finished the first bar. Now we're heading a little bit into the second bar, okay, because it's a 2-bar phrase, okay? So, then you have another rim click on the end of 1, okay? So this will sound like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, okay? Then we have another rim click on beat 2, so it's going to sound like 1 and 2, okay? We're just piecing notes together, okay? So instead of 1 and 2, 3, 4, it's going to sound like 1 and 2, because it comes right after the end of 1, okay? So this is what the pattern sounds like. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, okay? Then we have another bass drum on the end of 2, okay? So remember, we're just piecing note for note together, okay? So this is what it would sound like. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, right? Then we have another rim click on the end of 3. Okay, so piecing that together, adding to it, is what it sounds like. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay? It's a lot harder to slow this down. And teach it, for that matter. Okay. Then, your last note is the end of 4. Okay. So now we've gotten to the end of our 2-bar phrase. So after we clear this up, the whole pattern will repeat. Okay. So this is what it sounds like once. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay. And when you put it together, you have the whole pattern. 1, 2, and 3. 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. I'm going to slow it down so that some of you that are playing with this video, you can play it with me, okay? 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay? So you put that all together in a faster tempo, this is what it sounds like. Okay? Now, obviously there's a couple variations. You can play the bass drum on 1, just beat 1 of the first bar, or you can take that away, so it sounds like this. Sorry. Or you can put it in. Right? Usually they just play, like Afro-Cuban music and all that. They play just the bass drums on the end of 2, especially when they're playing in Mozambique and all that kind of stuff. So you have options. Okay. Something else you could do, which I mentioned earlier in the video, you could play your hi-hat in 2 and 4. Or you can play it on beats 1 and 3 with the ride cymbal. Okay, traditionally the hi-hat is played on beats 1 and 3, but you know, there's always stuff being added and, you know, into music and grooves and all that. So that's how I would approach teaching a student a complicated groove like a Songo pattern, because, you know, it's not your straight, you know, funk beat or rock beat. So it's a little more syncopated, right? And later I'll be covering the contemporary Songo pattern, which is more, I should say, heavier, right? So I'm going to cover that later, but these are just some options so that you too can learn the Songo pattern and or teach a student how to play a Songo pattern. So that's it. Please comment on this video if you have some cool things to say, or if you don't have cool things to say, say it anyway. So thanks a lot. See you soon.